Zack Snyder's Justice League has finally arrived. As you might expect, a movie of this length is packed with Easter eggs and hidden details, and we've rounded up some of the biggest right here.
Ready? Ready. Okay, let's go.
You probably won't recognize actor Ray Porter from his appearance in Zack Snyder's Justice League. In the movie, he plays Darkseid, intergalactic warlord and leader of Apocalypse, whose physical body is made up entirely of CGI. Justice League's big bad isn't the only character that Porter plays in the film. The longtime character actor makes another cameo in the Snyder Cut as the blacksmith who helps encase the Human's mother box in its stylish, otherworldly metal container. Before stopping the terrorist attack on the bank, Wonder Woman briefly rests on a statue of Themis, a titan from Greek mythology who represents order and justice. Artist Graham Nolan's Batman posing atop a gargoyle on the Detective Comics cover is recreated in Zack Snyder's Justice League. The truck that almost kills Iris, says Gardner Fox on the side, an homage to DC Comics writer Gardner Fox, the co-creator of both the original Flash and the Justice League. In Zack Snyder's Justice League, when Barry listing his skills to Bruce Wayne upon finding himself in a job interview, Barry claims that he can speak sign language but only gorilla sign language.
Gorilla sign language.
While that talent may not actually be seen in practice, it's impossible for fans to see this line as anything but a nod to the psychically gifted Gorilla Grodd, one of Flash's oldest foes. The hot dog cart that gets obliterated by that same speeding truck says the phrase Granny Goodness on the side. It's very quick, but this is a little wink to the villain Granny Goodness. Jake and Dino's Chapman are British visual artists, often known as the Chapman brothers, got a shout out in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Jimmy Olsen didn't make it out of Batman vs Superman alive, but he's kind of in the Snyder Cut. Mark McClure, who played the character in the Christopher Reeve Superman films, cameos as the police officer Cyborg saves from a flying car. A neon sign advertises the proximity of Ace Chemicals to the airport where Bruce and Barry exit the former's jet. The Toxic Company is one of the most infamous locations in the DC universe, responsible for turning Jared Leto's Joker into the madman he is today. Zack Snyder loves to hide Easter eggs on buildings. After Barry Allen visits his father at Iron Heights Penitentiary, he cuts through a train yard on the way back to his lair. Take a look at the warehouse behind him. Sure, the name National Storage may not seem like much, but it's actually a really deep cut from DC's long and storied history. While the company's early history is a little complicated, DC Comics was actually called National Comics Publications for the bulk of its early years. The fictional name created for Barry is Wesley Rowe, almost certainly a reference to Zack Snyder's longtime producing partners Wesley Collar and Jim Rowe. As Bruce gets off his helicopter, you can see that the company that owns the aircraft is named Kvikazilfa. That's Icelandic for Quicksilver, an Avenger and X-Men. The other Marvel nod is a little more straightforward. During the big fight scene between Superman and the rest of the Justice League, Supes flings the Flash into the monument at Heroes Park, giving us a very clear look at some of the names engraved on the memorial. For comics fans, one should look very familiar: Ben Parker. In the DCEU, it looks like Peter Parker's uncle met his demise during Zod's attack, not at the hands of an anonymous robber. As Bruce Wayne and Barry Allen drive toward the Central City Airport, the camera lingers on a billboard for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, an organization dedicated to saving lives and bringing hope to those affected by suicide. As Cyborg broods in his Gotham City apartment, you can catch a poster referencing Franz Kafka's classic 1915 novel The Metamorphosis on the wall. The Greek history discovered by Diane isn't the only source of a new name or title for Darkseid. When Steppenwolf reveals to Desaad that he has found the world which defied and defeated Darkseid, Desaad's beckoning for Darkseid is thankfully delivered in Latin. Domine qui infernum conflagrat, which can be translated to a few variations of Lord, who shattered hell.
Unknown object, 61982.
As you may already be aware, 6 to 1982 isn't a random string of numbers, it's a direct reference to Cyborg's original origin story. In June of 1982, 6 to 1982, DC Comics published the first issue of Tales of the New Teen Titans. Zack Snyder's Justice League contained the biggest teasers, but eagle-eyed viewers have spotted another one, a pregnancy test in Lois Lane's dresser, hinting that the Man of Steel's child may be on the way. In Zack Snyder's Justice League, GCPD Detective Crispus Allen briefing the Commissioner on the parademon sightings around the city. Crispus only appears in a single scene, but in the comics Crispus Allen was killed at the hands of a dirty cop named Jim Corrigan. After his demise, the slain police officer became host to the Spectre, a supernatural entity. Starro is a purple, starfish-shaped alien parasite that can create its own clones, and attaches to the faces of its victims, robbing them of their free will. Zack Snyder's Justice League manages to sneak a little cameo of Starro. When Steppenwolf comes after the Atlanteans, he discovers the location of their long-hidden mother box by attaching a crawling, purple device to an Atlantean warrior's forehead. In the original theatrical cut of Justice League, the Parademon's subterranean nest is located underneath Braxton Island. In Zack Snyder's Justice League, it's called Stryker's Island.
These lead back to Stryker's Island, between the two cities.
Stryker's Island is also the location where Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice's climactic showdown against Doomsday takes place. Superman said it himself at the end of Man of Steel, when he affirmed to General Swanwick, secretly Martian Manhunter, that he hails from Kansas, making him as American as it gets. And nothing makes that message as clear as a red plaid shirt. It was true for Superman, the movie, it was true for Smallville, and it's still just as true to this day. During the car crash that kills Eleanor Stone, Cyborg throws his arm out to save her. It's this same arm that he stretches out to his father to try and prevent him from sacrificing himself, and is also the arm that Victor lost entirely after the crash. When Cyborg receives his vision of the Unity destroying Earth, Darkseid sitting on a throne was inspired from Arnold Schwarzenegger's Conan the Barbarian. Darkseid succeeds in killing Lois Lane, turning her to dust in Superman's arms. The death is just one shocker in a series of nightmare premonitions. The wreckage and rubble around Superman obscures the view, but the red screens confirm Lois dies in the very center of the Batcave. The burned remains of the Robin suit, Bruce Wayne's greatest tragedy. The death of Green Lantern Kilowog. In Batman vs. Superman, Lex Luthor ordered Superman to bring him Batman's head. In Cyborg's vision of the future, Superman is holding up Batman's cowl, also mirroring the moment he unmasked Bruce in that first nightmare sequence, and you can see Aquaman's trident. Ryan Choi, the new director of nanotechnology at the Kryptonian ship site in Metropolis.
Ryan Choi, director of nanotechnology. That's your thing.
Oh yeah? That's my thing.
His main power is the ability to change the size of himself and objects, and he can even go subatomic. In the DC Comics, he's actually the superhero Atom Smasher, and eventually becomes a member of the Justice League. The Snyder Cut pays tribute to Miller with a couple of shots that could have been taken right out of the comic. Batman standing on top of a vehicle that looks a lot like the Dark Knight Returns tank like Batmobile. Cowering in its headlights are a group of goons who sure look like they're wearing the distinctive eyewear that belongs to the Mutants, a street gang that came to power after Batman retired.
You know, wanted to be by himself.
According to Zack Snyder's Justice League, Arkham Asylum was founded in 1974. Arkham Asylum, or Arkham Hospital, as it's called in both its comic book debut and the DCEU, first appeared in Batman number 258, a 100-page comic cover dated October 1974. In the DCEU, Bruce abandoned his traditional home, after the Joker killed Robin and burned Bruce's house to the ground. According to the last shot of the movie, Wayne Manor won't stay unoccupied for long, as right before the credits roll, you can see that the stately manor, now under reconstruction, as Martian Manhunter soars into the sky.